You get teleported into an unfamiliar land filled with monsters. The goal is to survive in this land for a whole year. After failing at your missions and collapsing onto the toxic dirt, you realize that you wish you had a sidekick. But no matter how loud you shouted, you realize that no one could hear you, not even your mission leaders. Sound familiar? That's because this is life. You can meet monsters of people and have a tough time with the work and deadlines. The only way to get through it is with your friends and family. That's why relationships are the key to dealing with change and growing your mind. Now, I want to start by telling you my story. So I have lived in so many places as I grew up. New Jersey, then New York, then Arizona, then India, then downtown Dallas, then Plano, and then finally I moved here to Southlake. And even worse, most of the time we would move in the middle of my school year. So the first thing I did was I tried to build relationships before going through these changes. While switching schools in 7th grade, I got in touch with a soon-to-be classmate and I stuck with her for a while. She showed me the ropes and introduced me to other people who would help me on my journey. I wouldn't have known where my classes were, and I definitely wouldn't have made some of my closest friends without her. Well, as I kept going to these different schools, it became harder and harder to make real and loyal friends since everyone already had their own circles. I would walk into the lunchroom feeling flustered looking at the sea of unfamiliar faces around me. Well, how did I overcome this challenge? I thought positively, and I realized why this helped. If you keep thinking about the worst case scenario, it's more likely to happen. This is called the illusory truth effect. A study done by researchers L. Hasher and his colleagues showed that repeating false information to yourself will make you more predisposed to believe that it's true. So, the next time I walked into that lunchroom, I held my head up high, and I didn't think negatively about myself or my surroundings. And I actually observed the people around me before jumping in completely. I figured out who were the people to be lifelong friends with, because I wanted to make sure I was going to make friends who were true and ones who weren't just going to leave me after my new girl popularity has worn off. Well, since I'm here, I got through it pretty unscathed, but it took a lot of mind control. Not the mind control you're probably thinking of, but the kind where I didn't have to be a superhero to need. The kind which required a flexibility of emotions, bringing me to the last conscious thing I did. As I mentioned before, I thought positively, but I wasn't naive about it. I went in with a fairly realistic mindset. If I had thought with a naive mind, it would have been hard to see who was really there for me. In Arizona, when I was about 6 years old, I was actually bullied a lot at the time because I was bald. And the only people that got me through it were the few friends I managed to make there who decided to stick up for me. This made me realize how important it is to build great relationships, and that moving isn't that big of a deal because I'll have people there for me when I need them. And this also goes for parent relationships. Most of us want to go to our parents for help, even when we're in a fight. So when something unexpected happens, like a death or even getting a new sibling, it can be really hard to deal with that change if we don't have our parents to be there with us and guide us. At first, it seemed really intimidating, but there were so many ways that I could tackle this new land. From calming my nerves to observing the people around me, I got through these challenges, but not without others, whether it be my parents or my friends who guided me through it.
you.